Hi, my name is Coach Tulin, and I'm really excited to talk to you. So I'm going to tell you straight up, this live is for those of you guys who are plus size and in this group, and have some questions and some struggles. And I'm going to tell you some brutal, honest truths, some things that I thought in the very beginning, what I did to push past it as a member of the original test group, the development test group, what my impressions were when the band showed up, the struggles I had, what I did to get past them. I'm going to give you all those tips right now. And so what I'm hoping you'll do is, for those of you guys, this is a coach test group, which is really awesome, right? You could be a discount coach. You could be a, big time coach who's actually building your business. You could just, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But if you know anybody who is plus size, who is struggling with these hi, Miss Dana, struggling with the bands, have these reasons that maybe they want to quit, I'm going to tell you this is a good live to share with them. And then they can ask me some questions if they have it. I'm happy to answer them for you. So I was selected to be a part of the original development. So go tell people, go share this, go let people know who's in this group to come watch this, because you have ladies in here right now, and even some gentlemen, people with mobility issues, stuff like that, who are on the verge of quitting. And let me tell you something, day 3 is quit day, because that's the day we wake up thesaurus. Can I get an amen? Did I say thesaurus? Thesaurus. Okay. So, so I highly recommend you let people know about this live, who's in this group. So here's the deal, you guys. When I was selected to get into this group, I had no idea what I was getting into. I had no idea what the workouts were. I didn't even know who the trainer was. I just knew that I basically signed my life away, sort of. But I signed a contract with Beachbody. So I had to be really, really hush about what it was I was doing. I went in very, very blindly. So let me just tell you this. You guys have a huge leg up, no pun intended, for those of us with big thighs, that I don't know if there's a way to share this with other people outside this group, Michaela, but I will see if I can download the video and figure that out. I'm not sure. But you can always tag them in here, if that's helpful. Okay, so anyways, I got into this test group, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And then the flippin' band showed up at my house. And I looked at those bands and going, I can't even wear thigh highs and expect them to keep them up. You want me to put these bands around my legs? And let me tell you something, the bands that are original, and understand, I didn't have a little obsessed. I didn't have people sharing their journey. I had no idea what I was getting into. But here's what I knew. I was selected to be a part of this test group, and that I was going to make this bigger than myself, and I was going to make it about other plus size women on a journey to fit. Okay? Yeah, we're not the demo. And so what? I started with insanity at almost 400 pounds, y'all. Okay? We can do hard things and we can finish hard things. I can get an amen from the ladies in the Team NSV group who know that. That's our mantra. Okay? So that's the deal. Bands show up at my house. I'm like, don't even know the workout. I have bands. They were 9 inches, y'all. 9 inches. So let me tell you where I started. Okay. So let me tell you where I started, and let me tell you what I had to do. So I'm kind of dragging this on a little bit, but first, let me show you my results. Okay. Can I get a holla? Okay. Those are my results. You can totally go and see my journey at I Am Tulin, you guys. I don't know if you can see that right there, right? I literally did this from I went into this program on your behalf. I didn't make it about myself because I really didn't know what I was going to expect. I certainly didn't expect that. Okay, 29 inches lost, 10 inches in my waist, 8 inches in my thighs. Yes, and I have PCOS. I have PCOS, insulin resistance. I went to type 2 diabetes. Y'all, the list is flipping long. Okay, and I should tell you, P.S., after I came out of the test group, all the stuff happened. We moved. We flooded. We had sewage coming up through our bathtubs in 36 hours. This girl gets shingles on her face. Face is drooping. You can actually still see the scar. I thought I had a stroke. I woke up in the morning and go, did I have a stroke? I mean, literally, my whole face drooped. Extreme nerve pain. I can't even, and then I got an infection in my lymph nodes, and then they put me on medications. And after all those results, my tummy distended by 1 foot, you guys. Stuff is going to happen, and I'm still in here doing this workout. Okay, bands show up at my house. Bands show up at my house, and they're freaking 9-inch bands. And I'm like, I was like, our fit sister who's in this group who just did the video, and I'm actually just replied, I was like, what? And they said, hey, we have bigger bands for you. Awesome. The big bands show up and they're 12 inches. I'm like, what? I need to make notation because the plus size girls need to know that we need to have different bands. Oh, and by the way, the sliders that showed up, I was pretty confident that there was a weight limit on those too. But here's what I learned. I put all these things in front of me out of frustration with the bands. Okay. So in case you're wondering, let's talk about how big my thighs were. Thick thighs save lives. Can I get an amen? So here's the deal. When I take my measurements, I measured 7 inches up from my kneecap. Okay. So I wanted something a little meaty and I wanted something that would challenge me that I could see change. I did not expect to see the change that I saw. And at that measurement, my thighs were, wait for it, 30 inches around times 2. 30 inches around times 2, which is different. That is not a 60-inch circumference, okay? I just got to clarify that. My husband, who's a physicist and a mathematician and all this other crazy stuff, that is clearly beyond my own mental ability, told me that's not correct. But here's what I want to tell you guys. The bands will roll. The bands will pinch. The bands will frustrate you. I watched my husband with multiple sclerosis, you guys. I'm not kidding. I will put it on here, okay? We're all coaches in here, so this is not like, I don't need to gain more followers from you guys. I got enough followers. I got over 100,000 on Facebook as it is, okay? I'm doing this to help you if this is useful, okay? If you go to my Instagram after this live, go look at my Instagram stories and watch my husband who has multiple sclerosis struggle getting the bands off. Now, I asked him, would you rather struggle with MS or struggle with the bands? And he actually said after that, he goes, the bands. But the bottom line is he did it with a smile on his face. And that guy was working out in the garage with the bands and figuring out ways to get him on and off his legs. Okay. And it took him a while and he did it. So the bottom line is this, you guys. The bands will actually work around us. The difference is if you're looking at the ladies on the screen whose bands are this thick around their thighs and you're looking at us and they're this thick and they're rolled around, yeah, I have to adjust them. Yes, they were frustrating. But if I would have quit, if I would have let the frustration of my bands go, I would not have gotten the results that I got. So I learned to roll with it. It became a badge of honor, like when my bands snapped. So here's the deal. So I measured up 30 inches across. I've got a 12-inch band and a 9-inch band. Do you know what happened? I lost 8 inches in my thighs. I got to the point in the workout. And again, if you go to my Instagram, I just gave you the link. You go to the Instagram, go all the way back down to July 29th. You're going to see it all. Go all the way back down to July 29th. I got to the point to where I had to use the smaller bands after I lost 8 inches off of my thigh circumference. Okay, not 8 inches off of one thigh. It was 4 inches off of one thigh, 4 inches off the other. I lost a tater. I guess it's not correct. Now I just contradicted myself. Basically, I lost 8 inches of my thighs. Okay, 4 on one, 4 on the other. And I used the bands. And my bands rolled. And my bands got really, really thin. And my bands popped. But it didn't stop me from doing the workout. There are some, y'all, when your band breaks, you say, band down. That's it. Band down. Like hang them up. You know how people like hang up like their marathon and 5K trophies and virtual 5Ks and all that stuff behind them? Hang them up behind you like a tie. Like every time you bust a band, that's work. That's you doing the work. Your 30-inch thighs are not stopping you from your workout. What's stopping you from your workout is your mental mindset about the band. We have thick thighs. Thick thighs save lives. If we keep going in this process, we're going to show ourselves what we're capable of doing. For all of us who aren't the demo of the program, I mean, they kind of changed the way they said that. But the bottom line is, you guys, we can do hard things. Band down. Band down. You're going to get better at the bands. And then when you get better at the bands, they're going to frustrate you. And then they're going to roll and they'll do all these things. So this is why ripped band of courage. Absolutely. This is why I actually have several sets of the bands. I only use the ones from Beachbody. The reason why is because I wanted to follow along with Autumn was doing. And that was really important to me. We thought about getting wider bands. We thought about getting different size bands. We thought about, I can't even begin to tell you all the bright ideas that we had in the test group, getting bands that were just the therapy bands that you tie on the end. And you know what happened? What we realized? We just had to trust and follow the process. And just because we have thick thighs, it doesn't mean that we can't use the bands. Our fit sisters who are on the other end of the spectrum, guess what's happening to them? Their bands are rolling. They're struggling with the bands too. It is not a size exclusive thing, but we begin to make it an issue of size. The only thing that we have to worry about is not what we have to lose in our body, focus on your gains, but it's the weight between our ears. The bands are the bands. You're still going to get an amazing workout. You're still going to get amazing results. Now, I worked out live at Leadership and with Autumn for the thing that she did for Puerto Rico to help out those in Puerto Rico. And I worked out live in the front, and everybody's watching me do it. And there were times that my bands, not everybody, but some people watching what I was doing because they want to know if I can do it, right? I get it. I put myself out there. There were times the bands frustrated me, and I just took off the bands and I kept going. But what I recognized is that I ruled the bands didn't rule me. There were some days they worked better, and there's some days they didn't. You do not need a bigger band because you're bigger. I have 30-inch thighs when I started. I had much less when I ended. You will eventually, once you have, I see your PD back there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. There it is. I have personal development everywhere. You will get to the point to where if you have several sets of those bands from Beachbody, what I began to find was I began to understand my bands better. I got faster at being able to change them out. I got better at it. And then I would have several sets of bands. I would have brand new ones. I would have some that were older, some that were stretchier. For those of you guys who did the deadlifts today, like Autumn says, you stretch out those bands. You definitely want to keep several sets of those bands on you. You will learn to work on them better. But our thighs, there were people, honestly, in the test group who I believe had thicker thighs than I did. And we still all got amazing results. So now you guys are going to be moving into the sliders. And you're going to be frustrated with the sliders. For those of us who are plus size and heavier, I'm going to tell you those on the other end of the spectrum, their struggles, the things they have to deal with are no different than ours. The only difference is we're a little bigger than them. That's the only difference. But their struggles, their goals, their journeys are no different than our own. You're going to get into the sliders. And if you did a little obsessed, you got introduced to them. I will tell you this. I use the sliders, and I thought there was a weight limit on them. There is not. Once I built up my core, this workout overall will help build up your core. You are working your legs and your core constantly in this workout. The struggles that you have today, you might have again later, but as you get better at it, you get better with the bands. I did. Somebody asked, did I get bruised on my thighs? When they were really, really tight, I did. But you know what? I think a couple of bruises on my thighs is a lot better than my type 2 diabetes. My husband would rather struggle with the bands than struggle with MS. So I did get some bruising. Yep, a little bit. They rolled on me. Yep. They were kind of tight to begin with. Yep. There were some exercises, actually, I did them, and Autumn even says this, that I learned how to do the movement pattern before I put the bands on. Okay, there were some things that I learned the movement pattern before I put the bands on. However, I tried the movement first with the bands. I had to heavily modify when I started. And then eventually those sliders, you guys, I couldn't get the sliders to move. For those of you guys who are plus size, get the sliders to move from the get-go, I envy you. I was not able to do that, but I got to the point, and if you see it, Autumn actually shared on our page. I was at a point where I could not use the sliders at all to do any of those pikey kind of things at all. Right before I got the shingles and got sick, I cranked out 15 of them. It took me 13 weeks to get there. So don't let the bands stop you from doing these workouts. And don't think because we have larger thighs that it's a bigger struggle for us. The bands will eventually accommodate us and our size to the point to where you'll be like, oh, there's not enough resistance on this. I need to go and get tighter bands. And then the funny thing's going to happen, because hopefully you're doing what we did in the test group, as we were following the program to a T. I didn't say perfection. I'm talking about progression, but I'm telling you we trusted the process and didn't change things up because, well, we signed a contract. Because I got to ask you, if Beachbody came to you and said, hey, we want you to be in the development test group and you have to sign this contract, do you think at that point you would have said, nope, I'm going to do things my way and expect the same results? I don't coach that way and I don't sign contracts that way. So just things to keep in mind. You will get to the point to where you're going to wish that you had bands that had greater resistance because your size may have changed. Your muscles could have gotten denser. Your ability, your strength has gotten better. There's so many opportunities for improvement. But every time I hear someone in this group that thinks that their size is getting in the way of their bands or their sliders, I thought that too. But if you can trust me and know and trust this process and trust Autumn, and I really, really did. I did not take it lightly that I was in that group. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you. At the end of 13 weeks, you're going to come back and go, girl, you were right. Girl, I don't even use the 12-inch bands. Girl, I need greater resistance. I have 4 sets of bands, so I know I have all this resistance. The same thing with sliders. For you guys who struggle with the sliders or can't use the sliders, I actually would step through. I would step through it. I actually start off with building my plank at first. I actually just put a video together right now with some modifications that I use to help build up. But can I tell you something honestly? This is something I learned a long time ago in my coaching. When I started off in Insanity, there wasn't anybody online sharing their modifications, and there weren't people sharing their process. And I got really frustrated with that because I desperately went searching for a version of myself, and I couldn't find her. So I freaking became her and for a lot of other people along this journey. And now we have amazing modifications. Not that I have anything to do with it, but apparently us as those on a journey, that Beachbody respected that and said, hey, we're going to give you some ideas and modifications. Don't be surprised if you have to modify the modifier further, you guys. There were plenty of ab-based exercises that involved body movement that I just went back and had to plank. But the overall course of the program, no matter what I did, my core was being built. No matter what I did, my legs were getting stronger. No matter what I did, it all compounded, you guys. It was like if you took pieces of paper. Hold on, I have an example. Let me show you the example. It's kind of like this. Let's get visual for a moment, shall we? Day 1, day 2. By the time I got to day 30, it was actually be 29 sheets of paper, this is what layer by layer by layer looked like. And I started off with a single layer. Isn't that visual amazing? Like, that's where I started, you guys. This is your starting point. If you follow the process, listen to your body. Instead of getting frustrated, take a deep breath and go, what can I do instead right now? You don't need somebody to show you the modification. I encourage you to dig deep. And this is my point overall. To dig deep and to figure out what you can do to break down that movement to help you get to where you need to go. Don't get hung up on whether you're working the exact muscle or not. You will get there. You will get that muscle-mind connection. Believe me, promise you. I promise you. I went through and I followed this program to a T for you. I didn't know what to expect on the other end, but what I saw on the other end, I was so, so proud of. So trust the process. Those of us who are plus size, we don't need special workouts. We don't need special bands. We don't need equipment that's different. We don't. You have it in your hands. There were 3 or 4 of us in the group who were plus size and also got amazing results using the exact same equipment you have. And I'm just going to ask you to trust the process. So hopefully that helps you. And I love, you know, that, I wish I knew her name. Shame on me. I love that you're thinking all of us, and we want to think that it's going to get in the way. And maybe for some people, it's not. Maybe there are going to be some people in this group that are like, shoot, I really can't have these bands. Like, they're stretched to the hilt. That's okay. If they continue following the process over time, I'm going to bet over time that they're going to be able to get to the point that they can use the bands too. Okay, so it's not a size thing, you guys. It's easy to want to make it a size thing, and trust me, I wanted to, because you guys know how hard I fight for the plus size woman, right? Like, I fight really, really hard for the plus size woman on a journey to fit, and I make our voice known. I do. So I hear you and I appreciate it, but I promise you, you're not going to, oh shoot, I've been on here for a while. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. I just do what I can. The sliding lunges are hard, so I step into them for now. Absolutely, Jennifer. And you know what? Good that they're hard, because look what we have. Look at the screen. Look what's possible. That's what I tell myself all the time. I don't focus on our differences. I focus on our similarities. And we're both people. We both have blood coursing through our veins. Like, they showed me what's possible. Yes, I am modifying. And you guys, into round 2, coming out of the shingles, like, I just got knocked in my butt 2 days ago because I still have significant nerve pain on this side of my face. And I'm coming in, and after all that I built up, after all those that strength, after all of that, not knowing that the medications were going to blow me up, make me look like I was 9.5 months pregnant, I believe in this program so much that I was ready to go on the 15th with the plus size ladies that I'm taking through this and with all of you guys in here. That's how much I believe in this program. So I hope I didn't miss any questions. I'm going to flip back. I have nothing else to say, you guys, except I just want to answer questions if there was some. Did the bands ever not roll? I just do it with it. You guys, Jamie asked, did the bands ever not roll? There were times that they didn't roll. There were times. Sometimes if you step up to the next band of resistance, it's helpful. Sometimes it'll stop them from rolling. So you just begin to understand your body with the bands. Yeah, there's times I adjust it constantly, and there's times I just roll with it, and there's times that they don't roll. I mean, every day is different. And your clothes can matter. Just don't do them without pants on. Yeah, see, Shelly says, all I did was move from yellow to green for the band to stay, and I just laughed at it, no frustration. Exactly. There are times that moving to the next band up will be helpful. All right, so here's the deal. So Denise was using the smaller bands and didn't realize there were larger ones. Some people don't. You guys like the band down. The band down thing's kind of funny. Yeah, Melissa says, they rolled on me and I just kept going, still felt the fire. Absolutely, or burn, I think. I rule the bands. They don't rule me. Yeah, tell the bands, you're not the boss of me. You're the boss of the band. They're going to challenge you, but you know what? Hello, in order to have progress, we got to be challenged. Nothing happens in our comfort zone. We've all seen the meme. Did I miss anything? Nope, I don't think I missed anything. Are you modifying? Yep. Okay, I think you followed your brackets even if you couldn't do the workouts. I followed the brackets. I'm an F-er. Are there any F-ers? Anybody else bracket F? And then I went to E. But that was because of my journey, all right? I didn't just pick a bracket. I didn't. You guys, like I said, if you had to sign a contract that says you need to follow all this stuff as laid out, would you be more inclined? Then write the contract to yourself. Put yourself under contract and say, I need to follow this exactly as laid out. I didn't just willy-nilly pick my bracket. I followed the science. And you guys, there's one thing I will tell you, and having been a part of the development test group, I've always had a great deal of respect for Beachbody. It's why I chose to partner with Beachbody. But I will tell you, when I saw the minds behind this program, all our programs, but this program in particular, the minds behind it, the how they listen to us, the science, Autumn, the things that she fought for. I mean, Carl did a beautiful post. Like, she fought for a lot of the stuff that she's in this. And so I really followed the science because I like to think that I'm a smarty pants. But then I learned that some of it's ego. You know, the ego gets in the way. The ego tells us we have to eat less. And I realized that believe it or not, I know it's tough to imagine, I'm an anorexic. I spent most of my life starving myself. If there's one thing you will notice, you won't get hungry most likely on 80-day obsession. But follow the science and give yourself the 30 days. Jennifer says type of leggings help. Absolutely, no slippery fabrics. But there are times, honestly, I'm wearing cotton leggings and I still run into it. So the bands have a mind of their own, but I tell them who's boss, and it's me. Okay, anybody else? Were you feeling like a limpy gazelle? Of course I did. You guys, hello, the more I limped, the more I knew I was working hard. That was really cool. There's some effers. So much food. I know, but you know what? I think it feels like so much food, and there's a good realization of how little we ate. If there's one thing that I recognize in this program that helped me so much was how to learn to fuel my body for this kind of a workout. I felt like an athlete. I am an athlete. Yo, if you were impressed with my results before, wait till you see my results at the end of round 2. Even with the setback. Even with the shingles. All right, guys. Love you guys. Got to go. Hope this was helpful.